Today we're talking about the bottom load method. Remove the interior sweep of the vehicle, cut and install the film, and replace the sweep once you're done installing the film. You're going to come in with your belt molding removal tool, pop that sweep up and out of the way. Most vehicles pull apart like that, so it is very easy to pop those sweep to be able to bottom load your film. Now you're going to take measurements of your window so you know how big you need to cut your film. So for these windows, we need them 17 inches. So we're going to pull that down 17 and we're going to pull it down about 40 inches. And it's nice to have a tape measure on your ladder there so that you don't have to constantly pull your tape measure out of your pouch to measure. Flip your bar down and then you cut along the top edge right there. That gives you a straight square cut. So you have nice square edges on your film. Window film has a protective liner over the adhesive. You always want that liner facing you so you can tell by the glossy finish versus the satin finish. The satinish finish is going to be your liner. Spray your glass and you're going to wipe it down, make sure there's no dust, debris, or anything like that on the outside of the glass. And I always run my film long on the bottom, so that way it tucks below inner sweeps. So when you roll the window up and down, there's no chance of it peeling. So get your film laid in where you want it, and then you just want to do a quick tack in the center. You just want that film to not slide around on you. Push your film in with your finger, lay your knife in place, and then click your blade out. Always tear away when you're tearing your film. Push your film into place, click your knife out, and always commit to your cut. Don't start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, because then you get jagged, chattery edges. Now you're going to come in, roll your window down a little bit. You don't need it super far down, just a couple of inches, so that you can reach that top edge and cut it cleanly. To cut your top edge, you're going to have 3, 4, 5 clicks out on your blade. Position your finger right at the edge, pushing your film so you're holding it in taut. Push the blade through, and it's very important to keep the same angle all the way across that top stroke. Once you have your film cut like that, you should have 2 little dog ears there on your top corners. Take that over to your peel board. Since we don't have a peel board, we're going to cut on the car. Always try never to cut on the car. I've been doing this for a couple of days, so I just freehand everything. Top edges I always round, bottom edges I always 45. Now that you have your pattern cut, you're going to come back over here and you're going to set it up on the glass and you're going to squeegee it out and you're going to create your fingers so that you can shrink the film to the glass. This is pretty flat, so it's only got that one finger right there that needs to be shrunk. So you're going to grab your heat gun, start at the bottom of your finger, seal up that bottom edge of that bubble, that finger, and shrink it straight down. Now that your window is wet, come in with a 1-inch blade and you're going to 360 the window. You're going to make sure that it is clean all the way around, and always make sure you pull your blade off of the glass. Never drag your blade backwards on the glass. Always go forward and lift your blade off of the glass for your next stroke. So now you're going to roll your window down slightly like you did when you cut your top edge. And I always push my window down to make sure that it's seated in place where it needs to be, because glass does rock. So if your window's not seated where it needs to be and you go to install your film, you can wind up with light gaps on the edges. Then you take a bone tool, wrap it around your microfiber towel, and you're going to wipe your edges out. Okay, and you see all the contamination that comes out of that edge. Even though this is a fairly new car, there is a lot of contamination in the edges of windows. You want to make sure you get that all cleaned out of there. So now you're going to come back through and you're going to spray the edges and flush everything straight down, and then just mist your center. Set your film up on the vehicle, and I always set my film up upside down. So when I peel this liner off, and since I'm bottom loading, I'm peeling the entire liner. Now I can lift up the film from underneath, and I'm never touching the adhesive. That's very, very important, because your hand will transfer contaminants onto the adhesive side of the film. So you drop your front edge in, and then drop your back edge in, and then slide it up into place. And I overcut my film so that I never have to worry about having light gaps. And if your top edge is cut well, you can line it up into place, and you can see you have no gap along that top edge. It comes right to the bottom of the bevel of this glass. So now when you go To squeegee it down, you want to mist your film so that your squeegee has slip solution to glide. You want to hold your film in place. I do that with my thumb, and then I back drag to tack that into place. From that point forward, everything is a forward stroke. And then you're going to take everything and you're going to 45-ish your squeegee, start at the center and work to the edge. You don't ever want to use this squeegee to push all the way into the edge, because that film is not tucked all the way in and you can crease your film on the edges. Then you come back with a hard card. These hard cards, I always keep a Teflon strip on them to keep them from scratching the film. And you're going to seal your top and just a little bit of the side. You see how that finger's pointing out that direction, that bubble is pointing that way? You want to stop right there, because that's telling you that the film is pinched right there. And if you try to continue down, there's a chance of creasing that film. So your top is sealed in, you're going to roll that up and work that film into that edge. Then you're going to come back through with your handled squeegee, and you're going to press out your bottom, starting from the center and working towards the edges, 45-ishing your squeegee as you go. Come back through with your hard card, press your edges down and go side to side multiple times to make sure that that bottom edge is laid down and sealed in. Wipe your door panel, wipe your glass, and make sure that there is no problems with the film. Once you have completed your tint job, you want to go back and install any of the sweeps you may have pulled out, any screws you may have pulled out, anything like that. You want to make sure that you put the vehicle back to 100% how it was when it came into your shop. This little plastic area right in here rides right over the pinch weld on the vehicle, which is basically the metal where the door is pinched together. So what you're going to do is pull this back and basically just slide that plastic over the pinch weld, push it down into place. Sometimes it's easier to roll the window down. Sometimes you don't need to. It just depends upon the vehicle. Pop your top of your panel back up over. It goes right back in. That's it.